Film number 2, Bullet Train, released on the 3rd of August 2022, directed by David Leitch. We had Brad Pitt as Ladybug, Joey King as Prince, Aaron Taylor-Johnson as Tangerine, and Brian Tyree Henry as Lemon. Ladybug is an unlucky assassin determined to do his job peacefully after one too many gigs gone off the rails. Fate, however, may have other plans, as Ladybug's latest mission puts him on a collision course with the lethal adversaries from around the globe with connected yet conflicting objectives on the world's fastest train.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
I'm looking at Charles' face. And I'm thinking the same thing.
And that was off IMDb.
Is that off IMDb?
Oh, yes. Okay. There is even more that I chose not to read because I could feel the fucking tension in the room.
I don't know what room you're having tension in because you're in your own room, so I don't know what tension you're feeling. But all I know...
Nah, that was IMDb. I couldn't shorten that down, but yeah, these days.
Leave it. It's done now.
Leave it as it is. I told you this is what happens because I like the script to see.
Listen, Els. Don't beat yourself up over this because we know.
Listen, it's your fault, but it's okay.
No. Listen, Els. Don't beat yourself. Do not be. I refuse to allow you to beat yourself up over this because we know. This is episode 18, yeah? We know, we said long time ago that everyone's going to have to host. So
it's true.
When certain man's in the hot seat...
I don't know who Giles is looking at right now.
That laugh, well, I can't look at you because your camera's off. But that man knows who he is.
It's going to be a long...
You can hear him laughing. Opening. It's going to be long.
Just know, that opening is going to be about 15 minutes.
I still remember man saying... Three billboards of that's I still remember that.
The Russian woman.
I remember, man was reading.
Hey, trust me. Hey, when it's in Russian, it's hard. It's okay. Don't worry.
Anyway,
were you entertained?
Oh hell yeah!
Kyle, were you entertained?
Yep.
Giles. I know you were entertained, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Were you entertained?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
That makes 4 of us. Full house. Who wants to kick this one off?
Well, since Amari's spoken the least, I think he should go first.
Hey, man.
That's true.
You see people rolling around. You see knives. You see swords. You see a train that you can't even see if you blink your eye. What more could I want? I
think first thing for me that needs to be said is Brad Pitt is the man. He is the man. There's never been any doubt, but even at this point in his career, and he's still got it, man. He's still got it.
He does.
And well, we've said this before. We've said this in previous. He's always just playing himself. I get the feeling like he never. He's one of these actors that it seems so effortless. You know, we said it during Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Ad Astra, he literally is just playing himself. Like you could lift that character and just put him in another movie that he's been in and lift that out and like you could just swap him around.
I mean, we've all got roles to play in life. We've all got achievements to have, but
unlike Ryan Reynolds, who seems to do the same thing, but not.
But even Ryan Reynolds has his place. Even that's what I'm saying. At this point, even Channing Tatum. At this point, these guys like. They've given us classic films, and I think in a film like this,
not Shannon Tatum, but
you don't think Magic Mike is a classic film?
Magic Mike, nah.
You don't think that's a classic film?
I gave that 3. I gave it 3 stars. Yeah, I gave it 3.
Okay. I think for what it did and for what it will always be remembered for, I'd say.
You're giving that 5 stars, yeah?
I'm not saying it's a 5-star film. I'm just saying it's a classic film.
A classic has to be 5 stars. What do you mean?
Not necessarily.
Wait.
Not necessarily.
That's impossible.
Not necessarily.
How can it be a classic if it's not 5?
Why was it a classic in your eyes? We've gone so far off topic, but you're saying things that are crazy. So we need to make sure we get this on wax.
I would disagree. I would say Magic Mike is a classic film. I just like that films like this can be made where these actors can have cameos and it's almost like it's breaking a bit of a fourth wall. Like, we know Ryan Reynolds is not a great actor, but he lands in these films and plays these roles, and it's become like almost like a sort of a gimmick almost. And I like that. It just adds to, for me, it adds to the dimension of the humor and the comedy in the film. But anyway, the point I was trying to make is Brad Pitt was born to act. He's up there. He is up there. One of the greatest actors of all time. He's incredible. And for me, I didn't see the trailer. I think I saw the post, but I didn't realize it was actually him in this. And then when I saw he was in Shrek, I was like, okay, right, let's see where this goes. Very soon into the film, I just knew, yeah, I'm going to love this. I'm going to love this. There's too many entities to talk about.
As soon as I saw the Japanese guy from Last Samurai,
The old one,
the one from Last Samurai,
the granddad.
yeah, I was like, yeah, I said this is gonna be a serious film. Whenever he's about, I'm like, yeah, I know it's gonna be serious.
But to be fair, I remember us doing Godzilla and we saw another Japanese guy and we thought he was a serious guy.
I was wondering where he was. I was, where's Ken?
You can't make these statements. You're making these statements willy-nilly. People lose their straps after a while.
No,
so
but
you
he
have to make
hasn't
sure.
lost his straps though. That guy, Sanada.
Yeah, because wait, was he in Last Samurai?
Yes, he's the guy.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he's the main.
He's the main friend, the main sidekick.
Because
Yes,
it was his friend that Tom Cruise
or
killed.
brother or family or something.
Yes.
Because, he holds that against him.
Until he
And then at
respects
the
him.
end,
Last Samurai. Fast, anyway, yeah.
Guys, we keep on going off topic. Can I just say we're here to review Bullet Train? Yeah. So can we stick to Bullet Train, please? Thank you.
but you know how bullets work. Sometimes they do angles and they do curves. You see in Wanted, we're doing bullets and we see the train curves. We're just doing the same thing, so we're gonna get there.
I just wanted to appreciate him. I liked seeing Hiro Nakamura because I haven't seen him in a long time as well.
Hiro Nakamura.
Yeah. So that's why I was wondering where Ken was. So I thought, okay,
What a
bringing out
character.
Japanese. I know Hiro. You can't go wrong with him either.
Giles, what did you find entertaining about the film?
This movie was, it could easily have been like an animation. But then, obviously you watch the movie, you think, oh, this is wicked. And then you see the director, David Leitch. Yeah, David Leitch. And then you look him up and then you see what he's done previously. You're like, okay, that makes sense. He's done Deadpool. He's done Atomic Blonde. He's done John Wick.
Oh,
So yeah, like obviously he's probably done them with in collaboration with others, but yeah, this
He also produces a lot as well,
Yes.
but I did the same thing because I recognised the name from the cast because I knew we'd spoken about him before, and then when I'd done the research, okay, now it makes sense.
it was non-stop. And if you don't understand something, hey, we've got a flashback for you to explain how we got to this point, which I have not got a problem with it, but especially when it's so well done. And it just keeps on moving.
Well, that's a metaphor right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It keeps on moving,
Yeah.
like the train.
Yeah.
I think that might have been part of the theme because even just to add to the point you're saying, Giles, even the flashbacks, they were done in such a way where normally a flashback you might kind of feel like you've got a second to breathe from the main story, but every flashback in this film was like a next scene.
Yeah.
But we're talking about something that's already happened, even to the point where they ended the film with a flashback. Like, just brilliant.
Well, absolutely. Like everything was linked. It was linked seamlessly. Even when you didn't feel that something needed a link, they gave it a link. I've not got a problem with that. This is for me. This is popcorn flick at its finest. Just sit back, strap yourself in. We're gonna take you on a ride. Nothing is impossible because we're just gonna go where we want. Do you know what I mean?
Perfect slice of action.
Yeah.
I haven't laughed like that in a film in a long time.
And that is without even, the action scenes, the fight scenes, core. They were really well done. I know it's green screen, CGI, heavy, all the rest of it, but who cares? Because the end result was so well done. There are many films, Godzilla, that do this, and it's awful. It's absolutely awful. Too much CGI that doesn't work. I mean, we I'm trying to think off the top of my head, other than Godzilla, we've reviewed some CGI heavy films, and they've been dog shit. Do you know what I mean? Whereas this, it was, I thought it was brilliant. I really do think it was brilliant.
To add to that, Giles, I think part of the reason, because I've really thought about this, obviously this being one of the first films I've seen back, and me personally, I think it's just good storytelling, like from a base level, where I can almost imagine they've written the story. Yeah, no, it's a simple linear story, and they've built and they've built and they've built and they've built, but not forgetting that foundation of A to B. That's the story. No matter how much we bring in other characters, and this all has to come back to the main point. Let's keep that theme strong, because then when you've got such a strong, you're keeping it strong, you can go where you want it to go. You can get crazy. You can have flashbacks. You can have constant action. You can have all these whodunits, twists and turns. And even like with the element of the snake, where it's like, what's going to happen? Like, okay, we know what's going to happen when they get to Kyoto, but then they're adding in more, they're adding in more, but it just all wove together perfectly to the point where almost sometimes these kind of films, you almost feel let down with the ending. Yeah. But the ending, it kept it up. Yeah. It literally took the ball, carried it to the net. Perfect film for me.
Yeah, the ending, it was good, but there were. I didn't have many issues. There was the one issue I had was when who was it? Aaron, that guy, his character, Tangerine, when he got left off the train.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
That's it. And then he ran and jumped onto the. I was like, no.
That
was a bit too much for me. That was a bit too much. Like,
but then
comic book feel for me.
But then it is. But then
everything else I could take, because everything else was unrealistic as well. But I could take that. But that scene just went. It just took it slightly too far.
No,
you took them lot surviving that train crash. And you was like, "Oh, that's okay."
No, that's what I've got. No, that's what I've got as well. That's why I said at the end,
guys. Can I just say? Can I just say? I know.
I'm nitpicking though. That's
yeah, you are nitpicking. Do you know why you're nitpicking, Carl? No, that is nitpicking. The reason why that's nitpicking. How? We've sat through fucking 9 Fast and Furious movies. Fuck off. Like no, that's
but I know that shit's unrealistic. I'm watching it as a new thing. And I'm trying to enjoy it as a new thing. When I'm watching a franchise that does dumb shit that go to space.
This film was making fun of itself. It did not intend for itself to be taken serious. And this is what I'm saying. Amari, this is what I'm saying. There's certain films, aka Nope, that want to be taken seriously. We've got a meaning. There's symbolism. There's this, there's that. There's underlying themes going on. This wasn't none of that. This was, listen, there's a case that needs to be retrieved. There's street.
There's gangsters. There's knives.
Yeah, like there's all sorts of things. There's all sorts of things going on.
Okay,
it's all extraordinary, and that's fine.
Because even just I wanted to say in terms of the crash, Amari, like even that was comedy. The slow mo of Brad Pitt getting flung through it's comedy.
I'm not saying it wasn't funny. Yeah. I'm not saying comedy. All I'm saying is just I couldn't even try to imagine him staying alive. Any of them staying alive with the carts rolling around.
But why would you be thinking of serious probability when
this is serious probability?
Amari, have you seen Kung Fu Hustle? Amari, have you seen Kung Fu Hustle?
Hey, that's one of the top 10 greatest songs ever made.
That's action comedy.
Yeah, but see the difference.
Carl, am I wrong? Carl, am I wrong? Is that not action?
That is action comedy. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
Doesn't take itself too serious.
Man has a rubber lip for about 15 hours.
We're not reviewing Kung Fu Hustle. It was just me giving an example.
Just letting you know.
Can we get Amari?
Man has a rubber lip.
Hey, someone boot him and add him back in because he's gone off on a tangent.
No. I'm a tangent king. Anyway, my favorite scene of Bullet Train is when Tangerine died, air quotation marks. Lemon was like, oh, my brother. And they was playing I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles in the background. And it just made my heart melt. Because I was like, these fuckers get a film. They don't understand. Oh, these guys from the East End. Hey, what the fuck? They actually did research. They played correct music at correct times. I was like, how dare you do this? How dare you make me like this film even more? I was like, this is outstanding shit. Out fucking standing.
I think the music as a whole was great, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The way they used the
Yeah,
music
I've
in the
noted
film
that.
was brilliant.
No, it was, but it was just, I wasn't expecting Afro and Bubbles, and it wasn't even done like as a crowd singing it. It was done with the orchestra, and it's like,
It
I
touched
was
you,
like,
yeah.
you motherfuckers. I love that shit.
To be fair, because one of the notes I wrote were one thing I love about these kind of films are the London geezers are international, bruv. You will see them playing those villainous characters in all films. But one thing I'll say to you, Mari, I do feel that it's like, you know how people from America especially have certain connotations of what Londoners are like, and East Londoners specifically. Like, you're going to support West Ham, you're going to be over the top with the Cockney, you're going to be dressed, smart.
Have you watched The Boys yet?
I wasn't too...
Have you watched The Boys?
But have we not had this conversation? Brilliant, bruv.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Of course I watched it. Butch. But anyway,
Butcher, yeah.
But that's another point which kind of brings me into the next point. The only thing I was a bit I didn't understand was Lemon didn't really seem to grasp the London accent properly. I don't know if you picked up on that, but I don't know if he was... Well, he must have been portrayed to be from London because they were there as kids, but he almost kind of went a bit brummy at certain times, went a bit northern, and I was like, it seems like a lot of actors do sometimes have problems trying to nail that East End accent voice, but the pairing was brilliant. Anyway.
But then hold on, see, you know what? The reason why I bring up The Boys ever so quickly is because obviously the Butcher character is this, he's played by a New Zealand, Carl Urban, and his accent is over the top. Like, it's not supposed to be taken seriously. So I feel like if it was a serious film, then you could kind of critique their accent. But yeah.
But I'm only saying that as someone who obviously we know East Londoners, we know when you're doing that accent, it's just something that's going to get picked up on. Like, again, the classic Charlie Hunnam and Green Street,
In today's society, I feel like even East Londoners don't sound like East Londoners. Like, everyone kind of...
That's true. That's true. No, it's true. They're dying breed, innit?
I feel like everyone's accent is a hybrid of whatever it wants to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm not too... I don't care. As long as I can understand what they're saying, Yeah,
I'm just... Because Amari specifically pointed that out, that's what I was like. The only thing was I thought he kind of lost it at times. But favourite scenes for me... It's tough, but I think I'm going to go with, because I know what Giles is going to go with, so I'm not going to, because we watched the film together, but I'm not going to say what I think you're going to say, Giles. I'm going to go with the whole Bad Bunny sort of scene where it shows, so obviously Brad Pitt opens the door and then you see Bad Bunny and he hits him, and then it shows how he's got to that point. So it shows that his mum died, he joined the cartel, he's doing jobs, he finds a wife, then the wife and everyone dies, and then he's like, I want to swear with it. And it was that fast pace, that bang, 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 to hear, I'm on the train, I've just hit you in the face, now we're in a fight. Like, that scene for me, I loved it.
I do have a question. Why did... So, obviously, we saw the picture, it wasn't Brad Pitt who killed off his family, yeah? Why the fuck would you try to kill Brad Pitt then?
Because remember, he was standing in for Carter. Remember, Brad Pitt took the job because Carter had the shits. Yeah?
No, not that part. Not that part. I mean, when Bunny, or the Mexican Donny, took the picture out, and it was the girl. It was the girl that...
But he saw him at the wedding, didn't he? He saw him at the wedding.
Remember, he bumped into him. He bumped into him as the waiter.
But he was given the picture of who he had to kill, who killed his family. So why would he kill that one?
Yeah, but because he was there, innit? And he's like, now it's too random. Why are you now?
Because he's the only one that didn't die.
Carl, what's your favourite scene?
Yeah, do you know what? I didn't write down a favourite scene. Because I just loved all of it.
Most memorable.
Probably the most memorable was, or what I felt the most again, was when, I keep getting Lemon and Tangerine, but when, Lemon actually, the white guy anyway, when he did actually die, I felt that scene, man.
With a sticker as well, because he's like, you're Diesel. I like that scene.
Yeah, the Thomas the Tank Engine thing was brilliant. I really enjoyed that.
it was very weird, but I was like, I like this. This is some dumb shit that I would do. I can't lie. So I was like, this is some shit I can relate to.
It was brilliant because do you know what it is? It's so silly, but it's the truth because even the creators of the cartoon or any cartoon, they will create characters to try and teach children certain things about people in it. So it makes sense. But I've never seen that before, and even the way that again it's the nuances in it, like the little put it on the girl. You're the diesel. Like, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Giles, favorite scene.
I've got two.
You only allowed one. You know the rules, Sam. Come on. I know it's been 2 years, but you know the rules. Or if you're smart, then you'll say one's my favourite, the other one's the most memorable.
And if your memory's good, you'll remember that I don't fucking abide by any rules. I do what the fuck I want, when I want, how I want anyway. So I've got two. So the first one's just, I mean, there were two fight scenes. The first one was when Bad Bunny's character, just the way his death was absolutely hilarious in terms of, you know, he he had a knife that he threw at Ladybug that bounced back and stabbed himself. and then he got his neck broken by accident because he fell. Like, that was ridiculous. But then my utmost favourite scene was the fight between Ladybug and Lemon, which was, and then you just had the woman who was telling them to be quiet.
Yeah.
It almost reminded me of kids, you know, two siblings having a fight and like kind of thumping each other up in silence because they know if they get caught by their parents, they're both going to get fucked up. And actually, even you had the intermission. Sorry, I'm going all in. That you had the intermission between in Tangerine and Ladybug when throwback to the boys, but Kimoko comes in. The actress who plays is it Kimoko in
Kimiko
in the boys? She comes in and my man orders a water and gets my man to pay for it. That's fucking genius. This time they're trying to. This time they're trying to kill each other. Yeah. So those are my favorite scenes. There was a few of them. One thing I didn't like and I thought was a little bit underwhelming was, and I was surprised by this, was Michael Shannon's character. You know, he was kind of built as this big bad. You know, was it White Death?
Yeah.
But I just found his presence. You know, Michael Shannon. We've spoken about him. You know, I know he's one of Carl's favorites. Brilliant actor, but I just found his, you know, a Russian infiltrating the Yakuza. Yeah. And then he was just underwhelming.
I thought the reveal of him, I thought it was going to be someone a lot more famous than Michael Shannon.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. The way they were billing up, I thought, when this is going to be someone big. I thought it was going to be a massive cameo, like a Tom Cruise or someone. I thought it was going to, and then I was like,
See, I didn't care who it was. I just felt like his presence, you know, because they'd almost built him up to be like this Kaiser Soze type character. And it maybe because I went with that, and then Usual Suspects, my favorite movie, but yeah, it just fell flat. It did just feel flat, and that was probably my only kind of minus against the, you know, for someone who was, he was in control of everything. You know, he was pulling all the strings. He'd set up everything. You know, maybe he didn't have enough screen time. I don't know. Maybe they didn't build him up enough.
See, for me, I get what you're saying, but I'm on the other side of the fence in the sense of I don't think this film needed that. I think Mike Shannon, again, he's stellar in it. You know you're going to get a good performance in whatever role he's playing. And I think that it was almost as though the storytelling and the way they built him up, they built up this mad villain, and then it just felt very comic bookish to me. But even in the sense of the villain isn't really the biggest part of this story. It's more the journey. Because when we get to Kyoto, you know you're going to have a showdown. And I personally didn't think, where we've had so much action, so fast paced, I don't think it needed this sort of big grand spectacle. I kind of liked that it was someone that wasn't a big name. He didn't really have much to say. I got connotations of, you're old now. Do you know what I mean? You're still bad, you're at the top, but now you've got everyone working for you and you're running off the back of your reputation, which you built as a young, hungry guy. Especially when we saw the elder, and the elder was like, yeah, I used to work with this guy. So I kind of knew, okay, it's not going to be someone who's going to come in and do a madness. It's going to be quite a subdued ending, but I think they did enough. And even Shannon, the screen time that he had, for me, still brought across some sort of like dark humour. The way he delivered his line, the monologue with his daughter, I thought was quite funny. Like, I think he done what needed to be done. I didn't expect it to be Mike Shannon as well. So when I saw the review, I was like, oh, okay, that's. I like that they've picked him to do this.
So did anyone look at the origins of this? Because it's
no.
So it's a novel.
Okay.
Okay.
But when I read up on it, it said that it's based off a Japanese novel. But the characters were all Japanese, so that would make sense for it to be set in Japan. But then when barely any of the characters were Japanese, it kind of didn't still make sense. Like the whole film is quintessentially Japanese based on the fact it's a Japanese novel, but then you've changed all the characters. Kind of didn't make sense because you basically could have set it anywhere if you think about it.
Okay, wait. That's a fair point.
True, because it could have just been on any train going anywhere, I guess.
But okay, 2 points. First point is, this seems like a good adaptation of a Japanese something, or no, a Southeast Asian something.
For Hollywood.
It seems like a very good
adaptation.
That's my perspective. That's my first comment. My second comment is, as much as I hated the character, the daughter is my favourite character.
The daughter who's quintessentially an anime schoolgirl character.
Yeah. And I know how you're making this sound, but that's not how it is.
I'm not. No, get your mic. I don't know what you're.
I need to put the disclaimer right now, just for clarity.
No.
If anybody listens later.
Listen, R. Kelly. Get back in your cell. We're not talking about that. The reason, what I'm saying is, if she's an anime character, that is quintessentially Japanese. So it would have made sense to just keep everyone Japanese.
No, I just like the adaptation of how she presented herself. She acted like, when she wanted to be a villain, she was a villain. When she wanted to act to get away with something, she was acted. And then when she got dismissed by her father, she just took the dismissal and went home. Literally. And I was like, oh, this makes sense. Because I was thinking, if you are, because the way I understand Japanese culture, and I could be wrong, so shoot me later, not now. She tried to disrespect, and man was like, no, I know you've been trying to disrespect, but I know, and I've worked it out, and I've made it useful for me. So I was like, now go home. We'll talk about this later. And she killed her brother. She killed her brother because her brother. It wasn't even a backhand. It was like, why? Why are you here? Come, do better. Go away. Make another plan. And she killed her brother to feel like she'll get power.
Do you know what? See, Giles, I'm going to have to... You've just reminded me of something, where I'm going to have to do a Giles now. My other second... my second favourite part of the film was the scene where White Death explains everything, where he talks about fate and he talks about, so this happened, which is why I'm doing this, and this happened, which is why I'm doing that, and you kind of see all of what's happened, which has brought everybody to the train. It was like that kind of big reveal. And again, it was very, very, straightforward, but it was just so well put together. And even the way that Shannon delivers that scene, I was like, okay, like he's a man. It's obviously he was a madman to start, but he's a man who's gone mad because he's lost the woman he loves. And look at what he's done to try and now get revenge and repair that situation. I thought it was great. But on the whole Japanese thing, Giles and Mari, I think, again, look how many good stories and good films have come out of Japan that have had Hollywood counterparts and just not been up to scratch. We already know these guys can do this way better than Hollywood can, but for this specific film, I think the way they did everything, the whitewashing of the film, and they can't even say whitewashing because you had, the Hispanic in there, there was black actors in there. It was quite well rounded. It was well rounded for Hollywood, I'd say. They've taken a few notes in the 2 years they've had off.
I agree with that as well. I like the fact that, again, at the start of the film, I think they were speaking in Japanese at the beginning, so there was little. Because it's not based obviously it's based off the novel, but it's not based off a Japanese film. So I like the little bits of Japan that they did throw in there. So yeah.
Star ratings, Amari. What are you rating Bullet Train?
Yeah, I'm giving it 4 stars because, hey, certain man were surviving things they shouldn't have survived, and that upset me. And it's not that Kung Fu Hustle, just to clarify. Kung Fu Hustle was a great film. This is also a great film, but this is not Kung Fu Hustle. However, I will say shout outs to Brad Pitt. I will say shout outs to the black guy. I was like, oh, he was kind of funny. Not funny, haha funny, but funny like. Was it the same black guy in Long Shot? Or was that another one?
I can't remember.
No, I don't think he's in Long Shot. He was in Joker, Child's Play.
That's cool. Anyway, I give it 4 stars. A solid 4 stars. Enjoyable 4 stars. Watch it. Hey, watch it with your fam. Watch it with your friends. Watch it with people you don't like. You might like them afterwards.
Kyle, what are you rating?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it 4 as well. I thought the action was perfect, comedy perfect. I wrote on my notes. Every single cast member was enjoyable. Literally, I didn't have an issue with anyone in the cast. I liked the two cameos in the film as well. I thought were hilarious. Just it was so random as well. I just thought, yeah, I like this. And yeah, I think it's a very enjoyable movie all round. I can't really fault it. It's not 5 because of the things I nitpicked. In the grand scheme of things, I can't fault it. But there's tiny little things that I'm like, it's just not quite. Wow. Yeah.
Hey, listen, you know the motto, man. Your rating's your rating. Your rating is your rating. Giles, what are you rating Bullet Train?
I'm going to give this 4 stars as well. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, you had the unfortunate experience of having to sit next to me whilst I watched this, and I laughed nonstop. You know, through this film. You know, it was like rad. I didn't think they still made films like this. So it was refreshing to watch. Like I said, as I said at the top, it was high octane. You know, there wasn't any lulls in it. I like the way how they linked everything together. All the actors and actresses, you know, I thought they played their parts really well. Bar Mr. Shannon, who he's a big boy actor as well, and I just felt that maybe he could have had more screen time. Aaron Taylor Thomas, I thought he was brilliant in it as well. He kind of reminded me of what's my guy from Trainspotting? He reminded me of the character from Trainspotting, Marcus Bigby.
Oh, what's his name again?
Robert Carlyle.
That's the one.
Yeah. But yeah, I
was he the main guy from Kick-Ass?
Yes, he was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I hadn't even looked at his filmography.
I didn't clock him by face, but because I know the name.
Oh, didn't you?
Okay, it's him.
Yeah, because I remember that was the films I loved when I was younger.
I hadn't done the research. Wow, he looks like a big man. That's just I've just had a moment of like, okay,
he's grown, and obviously, do you remember the accent conversation? It's the accent conversation is part of it as well. It was like, I need to do English. Whatever English it is good English, if that makes sense. So you did it well.
Remember, Kick-Ass came out in 2010.
12 years, boy. Feels like the other day. Mad. Crazy. So yeah, I'm going to follow suit as well. This was a 4-star film for me. Only reason I can't give it 5 is because I think it just missed that tiny little cherry on the top. The really, the pizzazz that takes something from brilliant to great or outstanding. But it was a great film. Again, for me, laughed all the way through. Solid performances all round. Loved the casting as well. Action scenes were great. The throwback scenes, loved the way they were portrayed. David Leitch? His style of making films, I think, is, for me personally, I love it. I love those kind of keep moving. What's this? New character. This has got a backstory. Now you're going to see it. Love all of that. Another thing I wanted to say as well was again, being one of the first films I've seen in a cinema since the pandemic, for me, this was, for anyone who may still yet to go or is maybe thinking about, not sure what to go and see in the cinema now, this is definitely something I think you need to go and see in that kind of social environment. Because I remember even you saying you were laughing, Giles, I was right there with you laughing as well, but also there were numerous people in there and it just felt nice. It was a great film to just go and experience and have a laugh with people kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? It's a very social film, I think is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, Brad Pitt, one of the greatest actors of all time. And at this point where obviously he's having fun. You can see he's having fun, and I think he's well more than earned the right. But yeah, he was brilliant in this. So yeah, 4 stars from me.
So that gives Bullet Train a TMRG star rating of 4 stars.